7:04 on this Monday, May 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Monday morning. The sun is shining, and we're in the last half of May. Glad to have you with us. We're on the air, of course, for Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon, and Clint Kelly is with us this morning to talk about Absolute Kubota. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see you again. Hope things are going well.
Thank you, they are.
We were talking a little bit about hay season last week, and we might mention that again. When May gets here, and towards the end of May at least, why people start cutting hay. And you have a lot of hay equipment as far as the Kubota goes. You have the tractors, you have the hay equipment that you need, and a lot of it, a lot to choose from.
Yes, sir. We have quite a bit on the lot right now.
And, of course, Clint Kelly is the service department manager, and I think the last time you were here, we talked about the rental department that you're heading up as well. So you do have some things that people would rather rent than purchase when they maybe have a job or two to do, and then they won't need it again for a while.
That's correct. We've got some skid steers and mini excavators. I've got a couple other machines like a stump grinder. We've got a trencher, a few other just earth-moving machines. So if anyone has a quick job, they don't need to purchase a machine, we can set them up with a rental. Or if it's the point where you want to try something out before getting into buying a machine, there's a few things we can work out for you as well.
Well, you find the Kubota line, you find Land Pride, which I believe Kubota bought, and they kept the Land Pride brand, but it's really part of Kubota now, as I understand it.
Yep, that's all the implements like brush cutters, bale spears, graders, tillers, all sorts of that fun stuff.
And, of course, when it comes to lawnmowers and lawn mowing season, boy, with all the rain we had, with 5 or 6 inches of rain the week before last, my grass seemed like it grew 2 inches over the weekend. It's ready to get
Hey, I'll put a plug in for Kubota. Like, that's one thing that they are fantastic with. I've got one at home. I like to cut my Bermuda grass really, really short, and in 2 years I haven't bent a single blade. They are really robust, and it's like a stinking bush hog blade. They're huge, so they can really get some grass cut and make it look good.
Well, you also have Hustler and Exmark.
Yes, sir.
So you do have a choice there, and everybody doesn't like exactly the same thing. Somebody might not have the Bermuda they want as short as yours.
I know, and we've got the occasional Alabama fan that just can't seem to sit down on an orange machine, so that's always a good time.
Well, you try to please them all if you can.
That's right.
Well, what do you spend most of your time doing? Running a service department?
So, yeah, it kind of just depends. I deal with each individual customer. If they call in about rental, I'm the person. And if it's service, then I'm the person as well. And we just kind of divvy it up at that point. Really, my job is just to make things go as smooth as they can for each individual customer.
Well, Clint, I know that back in January and into February, we had a special for people to get their mowers serviced and taken care of and ready for spring, and everybody probably didn't do that. You're probably taking care of some of those who didn't now.
That's true. And then, like you mentioned earlier, we've got stuff with hay equipment. It's really tough to diagnose an issue when there's no hay on the ground. So if anybody has a baler that's out there that's not, as you're going into hay season and rolling, if it's not performing like it should, give us a call because this is the time to get it diagnosed. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of preventative stuff we can do other than just making sure it looks like it's okay.
Right.
Now that hay's on the ground, we can definitely help out.
Yeah. But here again, you're preparing a little bit ahead of time. Not really at this point, not a whole lot, but maybe a little.
Yeah, the thing that has been drilled into me since I started, I've been at this almost 2.5 years now, is the word appointment. We really try and treat it like a doctor's office where when there's an issue, you call in, we get you an appointment made. That way nothing's just sitting around on the lot for a couple weeks and you're calling in wondering when it's being looked at. We try and look at it like an appointment. We get it diagnosed, and we give you a timeline for when it'll be fixed, so it's in and out, and we're really quick at that.
Well, you have some people with you in the service department. You're not a one-man service department.
No, that's the biggest department in the dealership. We've got 5 full-time technicians, a 6th that kind of doubles as our transport specialist. So it's a very robust department. We've got a lot of experienced guys that are really good at their job.
Well, what happens every once in a while, you are going to have a situation where somebody's got hay on the ground, their piece of equipment messed up, and rain is in the forecast. Is anything you can do to help somebody like that?
Yeah, so we prioritize this time of year, and then again later in the summer we prioritize hay equipment because there's such a short timeline of, like you said, hay on the ground. It's got to get scooped up before rain comes. We've got deadlines, and it's people's livelihood, so we definitely take a time out and prioritize things like that as they come in. At the end of the day, just give us a call, and we'll do everything we can to help you out.
Well, we might emphasize your location there at 1506 West Main. That's couple of years, I guess, that you've actually been there. But every time I pass by there, I'm almost amazed at all the orange equipment, tractors and whatever, all that we've talked about sitting over there. And you've got a pretty good selection, haven't you? We
do. If you want to look at something funny, if you look at the Google Earth image, I think the only thing that we had at the middle of the lot were a couple of hay rakes. And now that's, we've got so much stuff we can barely fit any more rakes up front. We can barely fit any more mowers up front. We've got a lot of stuff.
Well, you've got a saying that you use in some of your commercial time here, and I've never used this before, but I heard MJ, and I wrote it down the other day. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. And I like that.
That was what I think Don loved that one. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that, especially, it's more so towards the end of the year, but yeah, with farm tax exemptions and whatnot, there's a lot of things you can do. And the big thing that customers love doing, or at least applying that for their tax write-off for those side-by-sides. Right. Those are really popular.
Well, you have convenient store hours, and we try to remind people of that as well. Open Monday through Friday, except in the dreary days of winter. These are your hours, and you start this about March, about with daylight saving time, I think. 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturdays you're open 8 a.m. to noon.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And that'll probably stay until November.
Yep. The Saturday before Thanksgiving is the last Saturday we're open for the year.
Yeah. Okay, well, anything else you want to say before we let you go?
I just appreciate the time, Coleman.
All right, well, appreciate you being with us. And remember, it's Clint Kelly in the service department as well as the rental department.
Yes, sir.
At Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Give them a call, 615-449-6171, and their website, www.absolutekubota.com. See you next Monday.
Thank you.
Okay, we're about 9 minutes after the hour, and this morning I want to introduce Kathy Pearson and Karen Dedman, who are here for a special reason. And Karen, since you're the one that got this set up, let me say hello to you first this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to have you with us, and good to see you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
And Kathy Pearson, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
Now, Kathy Pearson is president of Healing Heads Foundation of Tennessee, and Karen is the treasurer. And we're going to find out what this entity is all about this morning, how it came to be. And I think you were very much involved in this, Kathy, from what little I know so far.
Yeah, I started from the beginning. I was asked to join the board as a volunteer. It must have been 2018, I believe, is when we started. And so I've sat on the board since then. I'm on there because I do have some personal experience with stroke, a stroke survivor. And so I was asked to sit on the board, and I don't know.
Well, we have time. Hopefully, have time to hear your story a little bit later this morning.
Yeah.
But is that kind of how you got involved with this and seeing the need and wanting to help others?
Absolutely. Because of what we went through as a family, I see the deep need for what we do as an organization for Healing Heads Foundation. So, and the young lady that started this 501c3, she also had personal experience. So, and I don't know if Karen wants to share a little bit more about Dr. Mike or not, but we'll fill you in on all the good information.
Between the two of you, we're going to get the story told this morning.
Absolutely.
Well, Karen Dedman, you are treasurer of Healing Heads Foundation, our local chapter, I guess, or...
Well, we are a small board of 7, but yes, thank you for having us, by the way. And I am treasurer. I'm friends with Dr. Mike. Harris and his wife Denise over the years. And in 2019, they asked me to come on board and sort of take care of the books. I am happy to do that.
Okay, well, I think we have time before we go to a break to kind of tell the story of what happened and what
Sure.
precipitated this foundation.
Yeah,
you want to do that?
Sure. So Dr. Mike is a stroke survivor. He, I don't know the year he had his stroke, but his young daughter was right by his side at the same time. Her name is Haley Harris, and Haley saw the need for people to have funds for therapy purposes after stroke and brain injuries because of what her family went through. Dr. Mike had a stroke after a surgery that he had, and they were fortunate enough to have insurance and the provisions to take care of the needs he had. However, she saw that some people didn't have that. So she started her research and she founded Healing Heads Foundation. She was 16 at the time.
Oh.
And which I think is an amazing thing for a young person to do. And she invited a few of us, I believe there were 3 at the time, to sit in on the board and to help her along the process. And it's evolved into what we are now today. We still do the same thing. We provide matching grants for stroke and brain injury survivors. And what that means is they get extra, or after their insurance has run out, or maybe they don't even have insurance, we will provide funds for them to get the therapy they need. And those therapies would be physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. All 3 of those.
When did this get started? You remember the year? You may have said it and I missed it.
Yeah, no problem. 2018, January of 2018 is when it was kicked
All
off.
right, so the organization's 6 years old then.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Well, usually there's some peaks and valleys, some ups and downs, but has it gone reasonably well for 6 years?
Yes, I believe so. We started out small. We had to iron out a few kinks and had a few people give us donations. It is strictly, people will give to the organization, and then 100% of those funds go right back into people who are receiving the grants. I would say...
So you're saying there are no administrative costs? People are volunteering their time? Like Karen, you write the checks and do whatever, and that's just gratis on your part. Gratis, however you say it.
Right. Yes, all of our board members are just great with volunteering their time. But yes.
Well, how did you get involved? Is it maybe your friendship with somebody here?
Yes, sir. I've been friends with Dr. Mike and Denise Harris for quite a while, and she knew I had a little bit of experience with helping maybe other organizations with being in the treasurer position or a little bit of banking experience. Yep. So I got the offer to be treasurer, and I couldn't wait to jump at the chance. So.
Well, that's really nice that we have people who care and are able to do what they do and let the entire 100% of the funds go for what it's all intended. I don't know how much publicity you've gathered or have tried to get, but it seems like your organization has been working well. You've been helping people these 6 years, whether you needed the publicity or not. How many are on your board?
Oh, I believe we have 7 on our board. Is that, yeah.
That's right.
7 on our board. And of those 7, we have 1 stroke survivor, 3 wives of stroke survivors, a brain injury survivor wife, and then I'm the mother of a stroke survivor.
Oh, okay. Do you have regular meetings or?
We do. Yep.
What have you ever come up with a fundraiser, or you need a fundraiser, or?
Well, we have had some local fundraisers in the past. There is an event that takes place yearly, and we have been the recipient of those funds. It's a small little fundraiser. Most of the time, it's just we have people word of mouth. They know about us. We had one of our grant recipients pass away recently, and we were the beneficiary of her. Support from her death. So we got a few funds from that. And I think today we wanted to make sure people knew that this month, May, is Stroke Awareness Month, and so we thought this would be something good for people to know that that since this is what we support, we would like to share the fact that we're here and we want to give the funds, and of course we would be welcoming any funds coming to us as well. So
okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, it is time for us to take a break. I'll reintroduce my guest when we return. This is Coleman and Company up at 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash out here in the Antioch area. It's partially blocking the right lane on 24 westbound at Harding Place. All this is going to do is aggravate all that heavy traffic that's coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, and from Smyrna, Laverne, trying to get up 24 westbound here at Harding Place. It's already crowded. Vietnam Vets westbound there at Conference Drive, all that heavy traffic coming out of Sumner County, Hendersonville area. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. Check them all out today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
And we continue here on this Monday morning. Boy, it's a beautiful, beautiful May day, and we're in the second half of May, of course. And with me this morning, Kathy Pearson, President, Karen Dedman, Treasurer of our Healing Heads Foundation. And this has to do with strokes and brain injuries. And they've been telling the story really well here, but it's a nonprofit organization that helps people when they get in a situation where they need help other than what the insurance pays. Or, Kathy, as you were saying, even if you don't have insurance, you help some people in that way as well.
We do.
And they've been going for 6 years now, started in 2018, and this is 2024. So you've really, over that period of time, you've helped a lot of people, no doubt.
We have, yeah.
And Karen being treasurer here, you've been treasurer most of that time, if not all, right?
I came on board in 2019.
All right, and so you know a little bit about where the money has gone and who have been recipients, and could probably even tell us, if we had you to research, how many people you've actually helped.
Well, it's quite a few. I will say that our organization focuses on Middle Tennessee residents. Mm-hmm. There is an application process. You do have to qualify, but you do have to be a resident of Middle Tennessee, 16 years and up. And like I said, there is an approval process, and our board sort of reviews that. You have to be... The recipient has to be motivated to continue. They do have to, like Kathy mentioned earlier, they provide half the funds, and then we provide up to $1,500 towards that. We get quite a few applicants, but we do like to share the wealth, so you can't get more than one per year. Mm-hmm.
But it is up to $1,500. That is
yes,
the limit each time.
Yes, sir.
And
yes,
then if you were to get more, you've got to kind of reapply and have a good reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But what we do try to do is provide grants, like Kathy mentioned, for brain injury survivors or stroke survivors. And we help those participants with their continued therapy, because like Kathy mentioned, oftentimes, as we all know, insurance will say, okay, that's enough. We think that's what you need, when in fact that's could be far from the truth for these patients.
Well, I know that in a lot of situations, insurance is great as far as it goes, but it doesn't usually replace lost income, for example. And that is a reason for really a lot of supplemental insurance that is even so. But in your case here, you even deal with people who didn't even have the major medical insurance. I'm sure some of them have come to you in that situation for whatever reason. And you got a personal story here you wanted to share with us too, don't you, Kathy?
Well, yes. I started in this organization because of our, notice of need of the of what therapy purposes. So, yes, my son was 15 years old, and he had a ruptured brain aneurysm leading to a massive stroke. And so, because of that...
Did this just suddenly happen? No advance warning?
He had a headache for several weeks prior to. We had taken him to several doctor's appointments and everybody.
But other than that, it just kind of came all of a sudden here, and you're caught and really needing some help.
Absolutely. Our family was rocked because of it, we had no previous experience, or nobody in our family had this issue. So living this now for the last 9 years is how long we've been doing this. I see, nobody's immune to any kind of health challenges. Strokes have no boundaries. Anybody of any age can have a stroke, and resulting in a brain injury. And that's where we're living right now. Thankfully, our son is on the road to recovery. It's been a long process, but through this...
I was going to ask you, because just wondering what's he able to do now?
So he is almost walking by himself. He still has to have some assistance. He can't be left alone, so somebody is with him all the time, so 24/7. He has some difficulty with his right side. He can't use his arm and his leg. With that, his stroke was on the left side of his brain, affecting the right side of the body, and also affecting his speech. So he has something called aphasia, which I would love to talk to you about. Next month is Aphasia Awareness Month, so maybe we can come in and talk to you a little bit more about what that is. But when we started going to therapies, our insurance would allow us 20 visits a year for each of the 3 disciplines, for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. We got 20 visits, and he was requiring at the time 3 a week, and 3 sessions of each a week. So you can see we smoked through our therapy really quick. And our insurance company, I tried my best to get them to extend the, grace or offers, and nothing. So we would go from the first part of the year, we would get a few months in, and then we could not afford to pay out of our pocket. So I learned as much as I could. Every therapy session I would go to, I would sit in with him and learn what I could, and then do with him at our house. Then later, our family just took on that responsibility.
Well, that speaks volumes to me that you would have the initiative to watch, observe, and then try to put into practice what you had learned there. At least that's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I think that's something, like Karen said earlier, people have to be motivated in order to overcome the differences that they're faced with, And that's why we like to see our grant recipients being motivated to receive the funds for extra therapy purposes. We'd like to see that. Because if you're not motivated, if you're only going to therapy for an hour or 2 hours a week and the rest of the time you do nothing with those things that you've learned, you're really not going to improve much. So our brains are amazing. God has created us in a way that our brains, scientists and medical professionals are still learning so much about our brains. It used to be an old train of thought that if you had a stroke, you wouldn't get better, that you would have to just sit and, not improve. But now we know that when you work your muscles, your brain, you will see improvement. It's called neuroplasticity. The brain has extra areas in the brain that can take over functions that the damaged or injured parts are no longer doing. The other parts of the brain are able to do that. So through getting the extra help you need, you will be able to gain movement back.
Well, I think with your experience, you no doubt are able to be a motivational factor for people you come in contact with, people who have had maybe a similar experience. So that's you got to be valuable to some people even through those efforts.
Well, and I think that's why Haley asked me to sit on her board, was because we did have that personal experience, and I think until you go through something like this, you don't understand fully what it takes. And
right. Before we run out of time here, we got 3 minutes. I have an idea. There are some people who are wondering, maybe I ought to contribute, and if so, how could I contribute? So one of you tell us what's the best way to contribute, Karen.
Sure. We have a website we would love for everyone to visit and take a look at our organization. It's healingheadstn.org. It's HealingHeadstN.org.
Okay.
You can email us at info@healingheadstn.org. And we do have a post office box. We go check it regularly for contributions and such. It's P.O. Box 3311, Lebanon, Tennessee, 37088.
3311?
Yes, sir.
Like 3311?
Yes, sir.
P.O. Box 3311, Lebanon 37088.
Yes, sir.
And an envelope to that address with a check in it would be much appreciated,
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt.
Yes, sir.
And I would imagine in any donation, I mean, if it's only $5 or $10, you're going to put it to good use.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. And here again, if you joined us late, your board, and Karen being treasurer, Kathy being president, you serve in these positions without pay. You do what you do for the good of those who are going to be recipients. And that way, any contributions that come in, 100% of it goes for its intended purpose. So that speaks well of you as well. But you do limit this to stroke and brain injuries, right?
That is correct.
No, every different organizations have their own little niche, we might say. So this is what you do, stroke and brain injuries. And if you're in that category and you need help, you need to check out the website. And I'm sure there's a phone number there where they can get in touch with you or send an email or text or however you do it anymore.
There is. Thank you.
All right. Anything we've left out? Anything you want to say before you leave this morning?
Oh, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it and look forward to being back on your show sometime.
Well, we'll if you'll give me a call and remind me a little bit later, you or Karen, either one, we'll try to do this in the month of June. I think we'll have some time. We'll try to make time for you. How's that?
Sounds good.
Karen, thank you very much for being with us this morning, and appreciate you taking care of the funds and being treasurer of the organization.
Thank you.
And also your help in getting the two of you out here today.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's Kathy Pearson and Karen Dedman, the president treasurer, Healing Heads Foundation, and you can send them a donation, Post Office Box 3311, Lebanon. They'll appreciate it. Part one of Coleman and Company. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, where they have premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They moved this crash over here on 24 westbound at Harding Place, but the damage is done now. It's just limping along through there in Antioch, coming in from Murfreesboro a little bit slower than normal as you come through Laverne, Smyrna on 24 westbound. Once you get past Harding Place, it does pick back up somewhat of a decent speed. They're on 24 going westbound. Coming in from Rutherford County has been a little bit slow. It's loading up pretty good in Hermitage right now with more volume on 40 westbound at Central Pike, and it's also heavy Vietnam Vets westbound there at Conference Drive. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. You gotta check them out. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Need a venue for your next corporate training, meeting, luncheon, or customer appreciation event? These are just a few of the event options that the Farm Bureau Expo Center can accommodate within its 79,000 square feet of adaptable event space. The Farm Bureau Expo Center offers unparalleled versatility for corporate events in Wilson County. Come on by and check us out. For booking details as well as upcoming events, visit farmbureauexpo.com or find us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Farm Bureau Expo.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, we understand the complexities that come with family law matters. Whether you're going through a divorce, working through child custody or support matters, or needing a will or trust drafted to protect your family assets for future generations. Kane & Crowell, 615-784-4800. Your local leaders in family law matters.
We'll have partly cloudy and warm conditions for today. Afternoon highs in the mid-80s. Tonight looks partly cloudy, lows in the mid-60s. And then sunshine continues for our Tuesday. Afternoon highs in the mid-80s once again. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
We welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on a Monday morning. Gail Helen joins us to talk about the Farm Bureau Expo Center. What else? Good morning.
Good morning.
And she and I are trying to get caught up of all our experiences over the weekend. Every weekend's different, isn't it?
That's very true.
Whether it's personal or whether it's the Farm Bureau Expo Center.
Well, I can tell you the weekends on the Farm Bureau Expo Center are all very different.
Well, you're the Director of Marketing and Events, and we talk about that each Monday at this time. Really, you have been able to add more and extend the people here out for some people come and like it, and they want to come next year, and you've got people lined up as far as 5 years ahead.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, we've got things on the books to 2030 at this point. I haven't really allowed anybody to book beyond that. That just seems kind of like a lot can happen between now and then. So, yeah, we do have that. And I was at a benefit car show this weekend, just a personal thing, and it was very interesting to me that so being out in the community pays off, and this was a perfect example. In the car show, they had their plan. It wasn't being executed quite the way that they had hoped, and it wasn't their fault. They were dealing with circumstances beyond their control. And the individual who was putting on the car show came up to me. He goes, "You work at the Expo Center, right?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay, we need to talk. I need your help. We need a different place to have the car show." And it just made me feel good that it was like, here I am at a car show, personal reasons. It was a benefit car show. They had lost their daughter to a drug overdose about 4 or 5 years ago. And which, of course, that hit near and dear to my personal story. And so I was out there supporting them, and he's coming to me trying to strum up some business. And so I was like, well, let's talk, So it was good. It was always good. And I love talking to people and trying to find those solutions.
You think you might be his solution in the future?
I don't know if the expo will. He has a certain weekend that he wants. But I think if the ag grounds can support it, I think I can work with the ag office and try to get him at least Fiddler's Grove and all the property behind us. And then, we could work out logistics later. But that would certainly give him enough open space
You ever had a car show inside the expo center?
Oh, yeah, every year.
Oh.
Every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you are innovative.
Well, we try. Well, if you're a car show person, let me tell you, when it comes to car show season, you don't really want to be outside as much as you want to be inside because the heat takes over.
Oh.
And it was a warm day yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that would have been really nice to have that respite to be inside. But yeah, we do a car show every year. It's Slammed Enough. Have worked with them for the past 4 years, and they have grown, and both in how they produce their show as well as just the sheer volume of their show.
Do most repeat customers increase? I mean, do they grow? If the second year, the third year, fourth year, as a general rule, it's
general rule, yes. But I will tell you what we're seeing. So it seems like I get calls from dance production shows every week. They're wanting to book at the expo. And I probably turn away, for every event inquiry that I get, I probably turn away 3/4 of them because I just don't have the space because they're all looking for the main exhibit hall or the whole building on the weekend. And but the dance shows that we have annually and have had annually, and some of them we've had annually since it opened, okay, they're seeing a decrease in participation. But I'm not so sure that that's not because the number of dance productions have increased. Okay. So these kids are having to pick and choose, and it's not an inexpensive process to be in a dance production.
You certainly... You have to say this is an interesting job that you have with all the different types of people and activities that seek you out.
That's right. It is. It's very, very diverse, and that's what I love about it.
That's the word I was looking for, diverse. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, no show is the same. No show is the same every 2 years. There's always changes. I love it when people go, this is the way it's going to be. And I just kind of smile and nod because that's probably not the way it's going to be, but okay. But, it is diverse, and we love having all the different shows there.
Well, anything else you want to tell us? Anything coming up
just
here?
A quick shout out to Brick Universe. They are going to be back this weekend. And they were here last year. They had a great showing, and we are encouraging people to come out and check out the show. And if people are interested in tickets, they can certainly go to their website. But if they want to give us a call, I might be able to give them some insight on one free ticket. So if they want to call 615-450-3049, we'd be able to help them out with that.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you. It's next Monday, Memorial Day.
It is. Well, so I guess I won't see you.
We won't be here, so don't come.
Okay, all right. I'll skip a week. How's that?
See you in 2 weeks.
All right, sounds wonderful.
All right. Gail Hallam, Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center, and that takes us to about 21 before the hour here on a Monday morning. And Sarah Davenport is my guest. I guess we'll have to say pinch hitting for Mayor Randall Hutto. Right?
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Good morning. It is good to see you. How are you?
You too. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's a beautiful day.
It is.
But they say the weather forecast is calling for warmer weather, so it's going to be a little bit more like summertime for a day or two at least. Mm-hmm. But it's just nice to look out there this morning.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and you've been okay? Everything going well?
Going well. Yes, things are good.
Yeah.
Busy, but good.
Well, I guess you're going to do pretty much what Mayor Hutto normally does.
I'm going to try.
Tell us about some of the things maybe he's done for the last month since it was here, and about the meeting tonight, and however you want to do that is fine with me.
Okay.
We'll get the job done.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, let me start by saying he is sorry that he could not be here today. We've got him on assignment, but he's going to be back next month. So I will not be here then. We'll have him back and ready to go. I do want to say congratulations to all of this year's graduates. I believe that all those graduation events wrapped up last weekend, and I'd like to say a special congratulations to my niece, Ava Grissom. She graduated from Smith County High School this weekend, so very, very proud of her. And also congratulations to all of our teachers, staff, faculty, cafeteria workers, janitors, bus drivers. It's the last week of school, so we know everyone is excited about that, and we hope that they all have a safe and wonderful summer.
Well, since you've said that, I will be remiss if I don't mention two graduates. They're not in Wilson County, but last night over at Murphy Center, my granddaughter, Ashley Nicole Walker, walked across the stage. She's graduated from, I done forgot the high school, but it's in Smyrna. And then next Sunday night, my grandson, Camden James Walker, will graduate from the school that he's going to in Williamson County. And I can't remember the name of it either off the top of my head. But anyway, high school graduation is it's a wonderful time. I remember when I walked across that stage in high school, and it's things are never the same again.
No, they're not.
From high school.
Yep. It's done after that, but it was a good ceremony, and they were a small class. They had less than 200, but so it went kind of quick, which was good because it was hot. But it was nice.
Well, no doubt here, the fastest graduation ceremony's got to be at Watertown, right?
Probably so.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's a lot bigger than it used to be. Well, I interrupted you.
You're fine.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Did want to tell you about a couple of things we've got coming up in the next couple of days. As you mentioned with Miss Gale, Memorial Day is next Monday. So the Wilson County government offices, as well as the landfill and the convenience centers, will be closed in observance of Memorial Day, and everything will open back up on regular business hours Tuesday the 28th. So certainly want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend and have a great time and stay safe. And also today at 11:30, the Run for the Wall is going to be going on. And this is the group of motorcycle riders that come through every year. They make a stop at the VA Museum on their way to Washington. So we'd love to invite the public to come out and greet them as they arrive and show them their support. So we look forward to them coming through every year. So that's going to be going on at 11:30 today. I did want to give you a few updates that have happened since the last time I was here. I know when I was here last, we talked a lot about the marathon train for the St. Jude Rock and Roll Marathon. It was a huge success this year. We are so excited and so proud of how it went. We had over 130 riders total going to the marathon and coming back, and we raised $2,000 for the kids of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So that is huge. That probably doesn't seem like a lot of money for them with the amount of donations they get in a year's time, but that's a big deal for us just to do this with this train. So really want to thank everyone who purchased a ticket, who maybe purchased a ticket but wasn't able to attend, who shared our post and helped to encourage other people to go. Really, really appreciate that. And a very special thank you to Mr. Eric Hosey of R.J. Corman Railroad Company for being our corporate sponsor. They are the ones that really made this happen, and I certainly couldn't do this without their help and everyone else. So what we'll be doing in the coming weeks now is scheduling a check presentation to St. Jude along with Mr. Hosey. We'll have them there, and then we'll put that on social media and local newspapers. But it takes us a little while to work out all the logistics on that. So, but that'll be coming soon.
Well, there are a lot of good organizations you can donate to, but I've always felt very strongly about St. Jude Children's Hospital and what they do for children with cancer.
It's wonderful.
And Helen and I try to make a donation at least once a year to them, and hopefully I know a lot of other people do. And if you get small donations do add up.
It does. Every little bit helps. So it's a very good thing, and we are fortunate to be able to do this year after year. Of course, we had to take a little bit of a break during COVID, but we're quote unquote back on track now.
Well, congratulations on it's not great big amount, but it's a successful venture.
It is.
And I know you had a lot to do with it.
Thank you. Thank you. The Wilson County Kind campaign continues. A couple of updates on that. Mr. Brady Patterson, he's a sophomore at Mount Juliet High School. He took roses to 40 residents of the AHC Health and Rehab facility for Mother's Day in conjunction with the Wilson County Kind campaign. And also Miss Lexi Potter, she continues to make her Kindness bracelets, and she's also making care packages for Mayor Hutto, and he gives those out to folks as he's out and about and sees someone homeless or someone in need. So continuing to do that. And we just want to continue to encourage everyone to see an act of kindness, share it on social media under the hashtag Wilson County Kind, and then do an act of kindness themselves and to keep this thing going. We've had a lot of success with it and really are enjoying the program, so we want to see that continue.
Okay, Sarah Davenport is here, pinch hitting for Mayor Randall Hutto, and it's time for us to take a break. More with Sarah in a moment here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's cranking up quite a bit now up there in Hendersonville with that heavy traffic volume westbound on Vietnam Vets as you work your way down towards Conference Drive. It's still heavy but moving at the moment on 24 westbound out of Antioch up through the Bell Road area there. Hickory Hollow Parkway as traffic increases through Brentwood and Franklin now right on schedule. 65 going northbound through Williamson County. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has new items on their new menu. You got to check them out today. Order online. It's easy. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Since 1982, Exmark has been dedicated to building the world's finest mowers. These machines provide you with a quality of cut that seems impossible, dependability you can measure in lifetimes, and an operator experience like none other. Because Exmark believes if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Visit your local dealer to discover a one-of-a-kind ownership experience and see the difference for yourself.
Exmark, done right, made for this. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon.
We continue here on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. And as was mentioned about 10 minutes ago, next Monday is Memorial Day. Sarah Davenport is here. You mentioned that too, but in a different way. But I just mentioned that to remind everybody we get off Memorial Day and Labor Day here on Coleman & Company, and so when those Mondays roll around, we're not here. So, back to what's going on.
Okay. Wanted to also give an update on the mental health fair that we had. We had that on Saturday, May the 4th. It was held in the backyard of the Wilson County Courthouse. It was a great success. Really appreciate everyone who worked so hard to put that together. And we did this in conjunction with May being recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. In the days leading up to the fair, Mayor Hutto had met with Mr. Francis Garcia of Tennessee Voices to sign a proclamation which declared May 9th as Children's Mental Health Acceptance Day in Wilson County. And we had a really good turnout for that event. We had so many, in fact, we had to go and take the picture outside the courthouse because we just couldn't get them all in Mayor Hutto's office. We had several representatives from the school systems and different organizations that were present to show their support. So in a nutshell, this proclamation explained how mental health is crucial for all ages, and that we have all sorts of resources available in the county for anyone that needs that. So another thing that we have done for this month and will continue to do through the end of May is the light posts that go around the courthouse. We've lit those up in green. Green is the color associated with mental health awareness, so that'll be going on through the end of May. So if you've drove by the courthouse and seen the green lights and thought, what's going on with that? Yeah. That's what that's for. So we were excited to do that. And then, of course, the fair itself was held on Saturday, May the 4th. Great turnout in spite of the weather. I think they had to close down a little earlier than anticipated because we had some rain, but we did have over 200 in attendance for that. And we did this to help break down barriers about the stigma that surrounds mental health, and we wanted to provide some resources for the community. So it turned out, I think, better than anyone had imagined that it would. So we look forward to being able to do that again in the future. And kind of piggybacking off of that, also this past Friday, we had some leaders in our first responders departments, both county and city, fire, police, WEMA, EMS, that all came together to talk about the mental health resources that are available for our first responders. And I think that's something we don't really think about a lot. Right. We think, they're there to do a job and take care of us, and they're made to steal, and nothing ever gets to them. And that just is not at all the case. So this was a summit that was put together as part of a project for Leadership Wilson. And so they all came together to talk about what's available for those men and women who take care of us. So I did not get to attend that event myself, but excited to see what will come from that, because I do believe they had a great turnout and things went really well for them. Did want to give a quick update on the specialty license plates. We are completely done with the pre-sale of all of those. So if you missed out on that opportunity to get one, but you still want one, they are available. You can get those in the county clerk's office at either Mount Juliet or here in Lebanon. So we do have those still.
And that's what now?
That's the specialty license plates.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Look on the back of my car. I got one.
I noticed that when I pulled in. Before I get into what Mayor Hutto has been up to over the past month, just wanted to say that, we're very glad that most of our area was spared during the severe weather that we had a couple of weeks ago. We do know that we had some neighbors who weren't quite as lucky, and we certainly are thinking of them, and especially Dr. Sullivan, the school director in Rutherford County, really thinking of him and his family right now and the tragic loss of their son.
Yeah, that graduation ceremony last night over there, they had a moment of silence.
Really?
And announced that the boy's body's going to be donated to medical science, I believe.
Yes.
There's some organs that are going to be saved, and so it's a tragic thing.
It is.
And everybody I've heard say anything about that man has talked about he's a younger director of schools than some are, but how fast he's come along, I guess, and a very, very fine person.
Yeah, and when we certainly are still keeping them in our prayers. It's also a good time to mention that we have an organization here in our community, Volunteer Network. So if you know anyone who's wanting to get involved in the community, who was affected by the storm, who needs help, or if you need help yourself, please contact them. They are great about organizing to go out and clean up storm debris or distribute food at local pantries. They do a lot of different things. So if you know of a need or have a need yourself, please reach out to them. You can contact them through their website at volunteernetworktn.org, or you can reach them by phone at 615-212-5326.
Okay.
And also, they had a VOAD meeting, this kind of in conjunction with that, and that stands for Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster. That was a meeting they had last week with city and county leaders. That was here in Lebanon with Miss Regina Gerton, who is kind of oversees a volunteer network, and they actually discussed everything that happened with these latest storms. So they were trying to get together and get organized, find out what could be done here, what needed to be done in neighboring counties. So we were glad to have all of them together and working those things out. So let's see now. I can kind of segue over into what Mayor Hutto has been doing for the past month. Had several events, which I won't elaborate on all of them. I'll just kind of let you know what's been going on. He did get to go to the Teacher of the Year dinner and also to the Chocolate Affair to benefit CASA. Made it to the Empower Me Center annual luncheon, which is always a great event. Opened 2 of our WEMA stations this month, Station 3 and Station 10 out on Clemens Road in Central Pike. So glad that we've got both of those up and running now. He attended and spoke at the National Day of Prayer at the Expo. Of course, he attended the Mental Health Fair, spoke to the Mount Juliet Breakfast Rotary Club, attended the First Responders Benefit Banquet, and he also spoke to the 3rd graders at Mount Juliet Christian Academy about government and what it's like to be the mayor. And I wish I could have attended that one. Those are always good when he gets to go and talk to younger kids. Another thing he did this month was he went to the launch of the Youth Employment Program. And that's a pretty big deal. It's something that the state is putting on. It's a program where they take interested and qualifying 14 to, I believe it's 25-year-olds, and they actually put them in the workforce. They are able to choose from a pool of employers who are interested in being involved with this program, and they can go in and intern at these different industries and companies. They can work up to 180 hours and they can earn up to $4,000, and it's all state paid. So it's a win-win for everyone involved. I mean, these kids get a chance to go out and see if this is a career that they'd really like to get into, get some real life work experience, and get paid for it at the same time. And then on the flip side, the employer, it's free labor for them. And it's also a great opportunity, I think, for them to get a different perspective. I think a lot of times we kind of overlook our younger generations because we don't think they have as much life experience, but they tend to look at problems in a different way, and they have a lot to bring to the table. So I think it's great that they're going to be able to get out in these different industries and hopefully make a difference. We're certainly excited to be getting a few in the courthouse. Our office, as well as some of our neighboring offices, will have some interns coming in the coming weeks. So.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful thing, I guess, especially with the state paying for it and an employer.
Yes.
It's an employee. They have an opportunity to see if they bond, if he or she likes that kind of work, and if the employer likes the way they are. It's a sort of a trial thing.
It could lead to something permanent for them. So it's great. It's done through a federal grant. Right now, it's scheduled to go through 2025, and we're hopeful that it will go longer than that. So we are really excited for them to come and join us and see what all they can bring to the table and what we can do for them. Right. Quickly, I can tell you about the County Commission meeting tonight. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Commissioner Rusty Keith is going to take care of the prayer and pledge for us. We will have a couple of items on the consent agenda, just some light item transfers in the Animal Control Department and the Stormwater Department. We do have a public hearing tonight. There is a request for land use plan amendment as well as a rezoning that'll be heard tonight. In addition to our notaries, they will confirm the appointment of 3 members to serve a 4-year term on the Emergency Communications District Board. And Mayor Hutto is going to recommend Mr. Ken Davis, Mr. Ryan Britt, and Ms. Jennifer Hamblin to those positions. They'll also elect 1 member to serve a 3-year term on the Wilson County Library Board. And Mr. Rob Shearer has been recommended for that position.
Former Mount Juliet mayor, or I think it was mayor, whatever. He used to be on the radio with us here.
Oh, okay, great.
Rob Shearer.
Great, okay.
He'll be a good one.
Yeah. Then we've got several resolutions tonight. They will approve the grant for the Sheriff's Department. We call it the Litter Grant every year, but it's a program through Tennessee Highway Department to help keep our roadways clean. Do some budget amendments in the Wilson County Board of Education in their budget. We'll also approve a grant for Petco Love for the Animal Control Department. Then we have a few lease agreements to approve for finance and county clerk's office and the ag extension office. And that's something fairly new that we've had to do. Typically, we don't have to approve contracts for things like printers and copy machines, but the auditors, I think that's a statewide thing, have asked that we start doing that. So we have to do those now, which is not a big deal. We just do those fairly quickly. Then got a couple of more line item transfers to be done in various departments. They'll look at amending the zoning ordinance as well as looking to approve the bond for the multi-level courthouse system. And that's essentially it on the meeting tonight.
Well, I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who keeps Mayor Hutt? Does he do it himself, or does he have somebody that makes sure he's aware that at 10 o'clock today he's supposed to be somewhere?
That is me and a team of wonderful ladies in the office. It takes a village sometimes. No, but I keep his schedule. But he's pretty good about knowing where he needs to be most of the time, too. Got to give him some credit.
Well, he does go to a lot of meetings, and he's involved in a lot of things every month, and that's usually where we start.
Yes.
Talking about all these, and he does not sit in the office or sit at home much at night.
He does not. If he is in the office, he is nose to the grindstone busy, but for the most part, we keep him moving. Yeah.
Well, you have an interesting job, no doubt.
I do. Yes,
and,
I love it.
You do a good job when you're pinch hitting for him. It's nice to see you today. And your family okay?
Everyone's great. Boys are looking forward to these last 3 days, and everyone's doing good.
We got 30 seconds. Any big plans for summer? Vacation time?
Well, my husband and I, we're about to break ground on building a house. So that's going to be our summer project. It's just surviving that.
Well, Well, Sarah Davenport, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate
the
it.
information. Pinch hitting for Mayor Randall Hutto, Sarah Davenport. And we'll have time to invite you to join us tomorrow. Mike Jennings will be on the second half tomorrow. We always look forward to him. And until tomorrow, I wish you a magnificent day.